Hey everybody, welcome to GoWCUS. I've got my Dustin Mesa voice on today. I'm a little sick, so bear with me. Welcome to the show. The hashtag for this show is hashtag GoWCUS. So if you'd like to talk about us or at us, feel free to use that hashtag on Twitter, and we will do our best to answer your question. Let's go ahead and start with intros, and we'll start right on the left with Dustin.
Yeah, sounds good. So, hey, I'm Dustin Mesa, live here in Nashville. I'm the lead organizer for WordCamp US 2017, and I work for WP Engine.
Gaby.
I'm Gaby Robbins. I do social media, and I live in Nashville, so I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Laura.
I am Laura Byrne-Cristiano. Like Gaby, I do social media marketing. I'm one of the organizers for WCUS, specifically on the marketing team.
And no, we did not add a yellow filter to Laura's screen today. That's actually her lighting.
Yeah, it's the never-ending series of Laura apparently is destined to do this in strange locations. There is no bath curtain behind me this time. Big improvement. I'm not in a box office. I'm now in a hotel room. I'm speaking at WordCamp Baltimore tomorrow. So this is my lovely hotel room, and the lighting is as good as it gets.
And I'm Steve Zangitt. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress for WordCamp Orange County, and I'm on the team for WordCamp US. There are still, I think,
not many,
two sponsorship spots left. We're almost done. So if you have been waiting, if you're thinking about a sponsorship spot, grab it right now, because we are literally out of space. We've got no more space. I think we've got one table left. So if you want it, or you work for a company that wants it, please contact me, reach out, and we'll get you in there. But those sponsorship spots are almost done. And don't say I didn't warn you. We've been talking about it on this show and on the water cooler every single week. Tickets are still on sale.
Tickets are still on sale. Just go to the WCUS website. You can snag them there, and tell a friend. Each year we look around the audiences and we'll say, hey, if this is your first WordCamp, put up your hand. Or is this your first time at WCUS, put up your hand. And a lot of times it's like a third of the people. So tell a buddy, tell a friend at your meetup, tell somebody you know. Bring them on down. We love old timers and we love newbies. So spread the words, folks. Help us to spread the word.
So it's funny you talk about first timers. So I have 3 guys from work, the good friends that are going to be coming for the first time, and they went to buy their tickets today. And one of them comes back to me. He goes, "Wait, why is this only $40?" And I got to explain to him about how, well, it's our generous sponsors that ensure that we can give the community amazing, 3 days full of stuff, 2 meals, after party with drinks, all for $40. And he was blown away. He couldn't believe it. He was like, "Are you sure?" It was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's no catch. There's no better deal. It's fantastic. It's a great entry point for everybody, whether you're a big enterprise or just a solo venture.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is a great value. And has the schedule been posted yet?
They are working on it. Unless, Dustin, maybe you know better than me. Did they get it out there yet?
Not yet. We are that close. I know there's like 1 or 2 things that we need to get right, and then, yeah, it's good. So very
great.
Cool.
Yep. There is a tentative schedule, though, up there. It doesn't say which speaker is speaking which slot, but if you're just looking for just overalls of like what time does it start, like Friday, Saturday, that kind of thing, that's available. You can grab that on the website.
Very cool. But today we are talking about the Nashville music scene, which I think is awesome. I got a very brief exposure to it last year at WordCamp Nashville, hanging out with Dustin, but let's expand on that today.
Yeah.
So, Gaby, why don't you let them know a little bit about the of your family and some of your experience with the Nashville music scene, and maybe list off a couple of highlights for folks to consider going to.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Los Angeles, so I always grew up with a lot of music influence and options. So when I moved to town, of course, everyone sees Nashville as kind of a country music capital. But I actually came here for Christian music, so that was that's a different genre that's really big here. I will say that country music is big here, but that is not all. My husband is a DJ, mostly hip hop music. So there are all kinds of music here in Nashville. And the best part of that is there are all kinds of venues. So really, if you like singer-songwriters, there are the tiny venues like the Bluebird Cafe. If you like, you know, like hardcore rock, we've got it all. There's everything here.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I noticed. I had this preconceived notion before going to Nashville that it's all country music all the time, and I'm not a country music fan. Sorry, but when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised. Every place we walked into had something that I enjoyed. So
yeah, absolutely. And I will say one thing is that if you come to Nashville and you want to have a taste, there's nothing like live music. And I will tell you, I am not somebody who listens to country music on the regular, whether on the radio or at home, but I have been, you know, gone out with the girls or gone out with friends to some of the honky tonks in Nashville. And there are quite a few. Literally, you could get every kind or style you could ever want. And live music, even country, even honky tonk, it's amazing. And it's such a great experience. So I will say, if you're going to come, walk down Broadway, get a little taste of it, but also realize, check out the, you know, calendars, whether it's the Nashville Convention and Visitors Bureau, or just look up music on Nashville. There's every kind of venue and every type of music. So I really feel like, you know, it's grown. And let me tell you, it wasn't like this when I moved here. But you can really, truly, and honestly get anything from blues, anything from Americana. If you want to go a little bit out of town and get an Uber, the Franklin Theater has high caliber Americana artists. I mean, Steve Martin was here recently. There's just really cool things that you wouldn't expect from Nashville. So it's a great place to check out.
Go ahead.
One thing that I think is really cool, specifically people who are looking for live music, is in the downtown and surrounding areas. Nashville has done something where they plant a sign in front of every like restaurant and bar that live music is, and it says live music venue, and it points. So like you could just walk down the street and see a sign that says live music venue and check it out when someone playing right now, probably, if you can hear it.
That is so cool. That's amazing. Like, more cities should do that. That's an awesome shout out to a venue that like you wouldn't know otherwise. I mean, legitimately, how would you know? That's fantastic. You know, before we started, Gaby, you were saying that the other thing about some of these cool live music venues is the celebrity spotting ability in it. Like are there any artists that you have known that have gone like incognito, or maybe not totally like in disguise, or just not hyped it, let's say, on their Twitter account that, yo, I'm going to be down here singing a few tunes? Like any notable Nashville natives that you've known to pop up about and around?
I mean, not recently, but I've heard Kelly Clarkson likes to do a little karaoke every once in a while, you know? I feel like that has definitely happened. I also feel like the musicians out here that live out here love to support other musicians. And there's a really tight music community here. So I love the venue Third and Lindsley, and I go quite often for different bands there. And I went to see a band, and a local guy was opening, and, you know, half of Paramore was there because they were supporting him. And I was sitting there at the top going, okay, like seriously, where else could you go? You're in a small venue and everyone's just hanging out, and there's no screaming or yelling. It was just everybody enjoying music. So I feel like that's the best way to get music, is to sit down with, you know, in a small area and truly hear it. It's not, you know, super loud speakers. It's just hearing real live music, and it's amazing. It's pretty cool.
Well, and the thing about LA is it's so spread out, right? All the venues are everywhere, miles and miles apart. Everything, at least where we were at Dustin, is right next to each other. So if you go somewhere and you don't like it, go next door.
Exactly. I would say the cover charges here are really great because it's not like LA. Like, I remember, you know, when I was in college, it was literally like we had to save up to see some of our favorite artists. Here, it's not necessarily that way. You'll pay a cover charge to get in. You can get a drink, have some food, and if you're not feeling it, you literally can jump in an Uber and be at another venue within a couple of minutes. It's pretty awesome.
Uber, or one of those carts that
that's it.
Exactly. Well, Laura, speaking to your question, and I know not everybody's a fan. I know Steve's a big fan, but not everybody. But Kesha grew up here.
Yeah.
And she's known to do just like secret shows out of the blue. Like it'll just be like, oh yeah, Kesha was at, the basement yesterday, just wasn't supposed to be, but she said, hey, can I play? So it's cool how artists kind of, like Gaby said, follow each other and do that. But really, it's Nashville and they're all over. You can walk in and see somebody
Yeah, like just to mention to people too, any of the places that we are mentioning during the broadcast today, I'll make sure I put them into our show notes with a link to where they're at. So if you want to check them out, you can totally catch them. But a lot of them it's true, like the Broadway area is a big concentration. Other than the Broadway area, is there music I mean, I know there's food happening in East Nashville. Is there music happening in East Nashville too?
Yeah, sure.
Basement East is a big venue that's out there. I will say that a lot of the actual bars that have food usually have a singer-songwriter or somebody that'll come and perform. It's one of those things where I feel like most venues here in Nashville, they're capable of having music. So yeah, definitely. And I can grab a couple of those places, but I know that Basement East is a huge place. And you get artists all the way from, guys who sing R&B and soul to hip hop to alternative to indie rock. I mean, you literally can get anything all in the same venue. It's really cool.
It's true. I went to a brewery just, I think, last week or the week before, and it's called Bearded Iris. It's a great brewery. And I walked in, and it was an open mic night for rappers, and there were 4 tall white guys just going to town on some freestyle, and they weren't bad. I was surprised. For those of you guys that are here, maybe looking for a break during lunch on Friday, there's a place called the Family Wash right on East. And they do like a radio show from there every Friday. And I stopped in one day to see a group that my dad loves from Austin, Texas. They were in town and they were playing. And before them, Will Hogue was on. And I love Will Hogue. He's here in East Nashville. He's Grammy Award winner. Great guy, but you can just go anywhere and see him. Case in point, Steve and I were on Broadway at a honky tonk, probably just sipping on waters, and right in the back alley, it butted up to the what used to be the Grand Ole Opry, now the Ryman, and out walks Brian Wilson, who is the lead singer of the Beach Boys. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there you go. Here's a legend just walking down the alley.
Mm-hmm. I will say too, there are a lot of artists here that they're well-known artists, but they have show openers here that you're like they could do their own show. Like most shows that I've gone to, you're like, that wasn't bad. But I literally went to go see Alan Stone one time, and 2 bands opened for them, and they were amazing. And I just feel like here you get such high quality, just musicians that just come out to play because they're friends with so-and-so. Or the Shadowboxers, I just saw them, and they're here all over town. They actually played and did a Justin Timberlake cover. Well, Justin's living in town, and so he heard about it. He came to one of their shows. So you never know who you'll see. You know what I mean? Wow. And now he actually did some songs for their new album. It's one of those things where you're just like, this couldn't happen anywhere, even in LA. Like, it's just too big in LA. In Nashville, everyone knows everyone. And like I said, just around, like just an Uber drive away, you're in downtown Nashville, but you can get some like Tennessee music and Tennessee out in Leaper's Fork or Franklin. And it's mind boggling sometimes what you can experience out here.
Well, the other difference between Nashville and LA that I noticed right away is the attitude, right? LA's everybody's got an attitude. Everybody's somebody. Nashville, everybody's just there to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely has that. I think the one reason why I go home to visit LA all the time, but the reason why I end up staying here is that it's got that laid back vibe. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a vacation vibe, but then you still have the amazing music and the amazing food and all that stuff too. But there's just such a laid back feeling. It's like, oh yeah, that's Justin Timberlake, and he's sitting, 20 feet from me, no big,
Cool. Yeah, it's all good.
It's funny, Gaby. We've had a bunch of people been asking us, coming from more, I guess, larger cities and cities from all over the place. I guess sometimes you think of Nashville as being, just this very cowboy boots and, as you say, very honky tonk kind of city. And coming from Los Angeles, like obviously you came in town and you stayed. is that very friendly vibe what made you stay? And as somebody who is Latina, was Nashville a very welcoming community to people who, like, let's say, don't look like me?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when I first moved here, I wasn't sure, you know, and my first visit back, I realized I was sure, because I would look at people and smile and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they'd be like, "How are you talking to me?" I had forgotten what it was like to be in a big city where everyone's on a path and they're on that path and they're not going to let you get off, you know. Like here, I will say that it's just very friendly and very, like, people smile and they say, "How are you doing?" And I will say I moved here 20 plus years ago. The community has diversified immensely, especially ethnically. And there are areas in Nashville that didn't exist before when I first moved here, that are very rich culturally. And I feel very comfortable here. I have 3 children, and I have no problem, you know, thinking that they're not going to be able to experience something. But yeah, I also think that a lot of people don't see Nashville outside of that downtown area, and it's big. I mean, it's big, and there's tons of different spots. There's tons of different areas to explore. And I feel like being from a big city, it's just enough of the country and it's just enough of the city that it feels really good. So yeah, I've been here and I've never thought about leaving. So yeah, absolutely. I love it here. And I feel like it's definitely a welcoming community.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
And definitely a theme we've heard repeated from different guests that we've had in over the past couple of weeks who have come from all different areas and could have lived everywhere in the country, but they've come to Nashville to stay. So that's I mean, that's fantastic news and just speaks to what the city has to offer.
So come for WordCamp US and never leave.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving here. It's just a great place to visit, you know.
Yeah.
Dustin doesn't want any more crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the LA traffic yet, but it's sneaking up on us. So we're kind of like, yeah, come visit. Come visit.
Exactly. I got to give a shout out to one of my favorite music venues, and it's actually pretty close to Music City Center. You know, if it's a nice day, you could walk, and that's called City Winery, and it's a winery, which is awesome. They have great wines and stuff, but they also have a very intimate, venue where it's just a couple hundred people, but big names come through. I saw Joan Osborne there once. My mom wanted to go for her birthday, but Joan Osborne was there, and I've seen some big names come through. My wife's gone a bunch. She's way more into music than I am. But if you're coming into Nashville and you want to get a little music, maybe take a peek at their schedule, see who's coming in, see if you want to do that one night. I just love it. Really cool venue.
Yeah, and actually, I'll go out on a limb and say, you know what, we'll post up links, even maybe we'll do a blog post coming up this week on some of the music venues to follow up on all this. Throw this video on there too, just so people have a sense of what that is and just the diversified areas they can get that live entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Well, great job. What are we talking about next week?
So next week is a great segue. Gaby talked about how, Nashville's known for the downtown, but really it's so much more. So next week, we're going to dive into that so much more. We're going to talk to you about the different neighborhoods, different parts of Nashville. Maybe even get a little outside of Nashville, a little Franklin action, which is a great city. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to dive in and talk about it. And, if you haven't gotten your hotels yet, maybe think about an Airbnb in one of these neighborhoods that really meets your style. So yeah, we're going to dive in.
All right, we are 7 weeks away from WordCamp, so it's coming. It's right around the corner. And,
49 days.
we will see you all there. Wait, I'm bad at math, but yeah.
Not that I'm the girl in charge of the countdown or anything, but yeah, 49 days.
Excellent. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.